material off. So.
What was that?
It's our background music. It's our new background music. Hey guys, it's me. It's PLD.
And I'm Richard-Erik Jarvi.
And this is class action?
Nope. It's not, though.
It is, but it isn't.
It is, but it
is, but it isn't. We welcome to Class Action. If you look at this thumbnail, you might think that we're discussing Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader. We are, but just not in our typical Class Action way.
That's already happened.
That already did happen, yes, that's true. We are going to instead bring back Scoundrels of the Force for one day only. Well, it's not one day only. It's only we're going to do it every once in a while. We decided that as much as when we replaced Scoundrels with Class Action, we still wanted to do these kind of things where we'd recap shows every once in a while, especially Star Wars related shows because we all love Star Wars so much. But instead of doing one long, after every episode recap, we would just wait to the end of the series and kind of just do our discussion about the whole series as a whole. And it's going to be a very laid back show. If people in the chat want to give their comments, their questions, we'll answer them as best we can and our opinions on things. We'll talk about how we got here. We'll talk about what's maybe coming up next. Maybe also talk Star Wars stuff. And who knows, maybe eventually at some point I'll convince these guys to do a Westworld watch through because that's what I'm watching.
I'm down. I haven't started watching it yet, so don't spoil it because obviously I've been watching Stranger Things, but like Westworld is like on my thing. Shout out to my man Jonathan Tucker.
Westworld season 4 is good so far. I'm very happy about it. Let me tell you.
I think I'm 2 or 3 seasons in, so I'm pretty good with Westworld, and I would love to continue it. Though Stranger Things, man, that is some great stuff.
Stranger Things has been good too. We could do something about that at some point.
That is one of the greatest seasons in TV history.
That one particular scene in the finale.
With a certain puppet.
Yeah, let's leave it there.
That's great. That is pretty good. It's funny. I will say that I still feel everybody's loving that season so much. It's A+, A+. I'm kind of more of it was a B+, A- range. I'm not
really
way as much as everybody else. I feel like it was a little bloated. I feel it was a little bit.
That one scene knocked it up to an A for me. That one scene knocked it up to an A.
I do love it overall. I just feel like I'm wow, these are 2-hour, 20-minute episodes of the TV series.
That's what I love about it. That's what I friggin' love about it. That's I know I'm echoing what Christian Harloff has been saying, but that's what I wanted for Obi-Wan. I wanted these at least 1-hour mini movies for that season.
That's not
it was originally written as a trilogy of movies. No. But Disney just decided, no, we're not going to do that.
That's because Solo. That's why I won.
Yeah,
fucking Solo. I love Solo.
I do too.
Fucking the records is more the responses. So fucking Disney for being stupid and take the wrong.
Shout out to the Resistance broadcast. Make Solo 2 happen.
That's right. Absolutely. We love John Hoey.
Also, for everyone listening, we will be spoiling Obi-Wan the entire season. You've been warned.
Not that we don't already know how the story ends overall.
Yeah,
right. We will be spoiling the show. So if you do not want spoilers, get the fuck out of here. Watch the show, then come back.
Then come back later. Let's just start off here right into the idea. This was obviously, I know we both mentioned. So what's up, Ed? Just saying hi to you. Good, always good to see you in the chat. This was the show that we were all most amped for the Disney Plus Star Wars series coming in. We had Mandalorian. We ended up loving Mandalorian. Boba Fett came in. We were excited enough, but this is the one. And I guess overall, where do you say this ranked as far as just your overall rate? We can go right in the top, but what are your overall thoughts? Then we'll bring it down more. Jarvi, let's start with you. What are your overall thoughts on the series?
So I'm very torn. In some ways, I really loved it, but as I watched a few of the episodes for today, rewatched, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of I don't want to say bummed out, but I think the expectation of the show on my part was sky high. It was sky high, and it was like almost nothing could have topped it, no matter how good it was. And it didn't meet those expectations.
Really?
I'll just say that. Unfortunately, like so many great moments, but not quite what I guess hoped or expected it to be.
Oh, so new hope from Jarvi is Dash, and this is coming from the Michael Bay fan. So let's keep noting where that's coming from.
Man, they could have had Michael. Oh, yeah, I will.
Wow,
I will never say that. No worries.
Matty, what about you?
For me, I will go. If I'm ranking this series so far, I will go Mando season 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mando season 1, Book of Boba Fett.
Okay.
Just because, like, Mandalorian season 2 gave us so much.
Yeah,
and it's like,
sure.
for some parts of it, I like I said, we know how this story ends, which is why I think I'm probably gonna fall in love with Andor even more, because yes, we know how Andor's story ends, but we have no idea what his life was like before Rogue One.
I will say right off the bat, like, I've seen some stuff of Andor, and it's been a very slow burn, but I'm really getting excited for it. I really am like
Tony Gilroy is selling the shit out of this thing.
Yeah, like we're getting 12 episodes for the first season, and then the second season, that's like another 12 episodes from right now.
And it leads right up to the first moment of Rogue One.
And I'm just saying 1 year for the first season, and like 3 episodes for year 2, 3 episodes for year 3, 3 episodes for year 4, 3 episodes for year 5. That's very interesting to me, how they're going to do it. But Tony Gilroy is great, and I like Diego Luna as well. So, and I love this time frame, getting more involved with Mon Mothma and everything else. As much as I could see some people getting burned out from this time frame a little bit. A lot of the Disney era of Star Wars, like when it's not sequel trilogy, has been we're going to mine the between 3 and 4
Skywalker saga,
all the way around that, instead of like committing. We don't get anything. We haven't got hardly anything that's between 6 and 7 yet. We've hardly got. I mean, got a little bit of Mandalorian. Obviously, Mandalorian is that's it. So. But nothing post 9, nothing pre 1 yet. And nothing even like during the original trilogy, which I'm surprised about. We haven't got anything like between A New Hope and Empire, for example, or stuff like that, or something to that effect. It's all been like this, like build of the Empire, Rebels, Andor, Obi-Wan, all this like same Bad Batch, all in that similar time frame, or whatever. But I'm still not sick of it yet. I do like this era because it's a good way to like marry the prequel era stuff with the original trilogy era stuff, and got a lot of playgrounds, a lot of toy boxes to play in. So I do like that. I'll go ahead and say that my overall thoughts on the saga, on the series rather, in Obi-Wan, it hit it out of the park for me. It was exactly what I needed.
Really?
It really did. It really did. Yep. I think that I understand why people would get a little underwhelmed by some of it, but to me, I feel that some people were expecting too much of an epic.
Exactly.
For
That's
it.
me.
I
but
never
fair play, Jarvi. At least you admit it. Like, you're not just like one of these people that's just like, it wasn't what I wanted. Like, just,
to me,
I give it a 4 out of 5. I give it a 4 out of 5.
There you go.
Great.
I gave it a 5 out of 5 because I understood. Like, for me, I came in going, I knew we couldn't have the epic because that would like invalidate episode 4 and invalidate episode 3. Like, you have this, it's at its crux and in between. The fact that we got more of Obi-Wan and Vader together is great. The fact that we got Obi-Wan and Princess Leia together was phenomenal, and some of the stuff was really kind of fun. I liked actually some of the lower key stuff. Like, a lot of people had a problem with episode 4, I think, which was the infiltration of the Inquisitorius place.
That was so great.
I felt like that was just like an episode. I feel like I was watching like a not a.
It was homage. It was Jedi Fallen Order with Obi-Wan Kenobi instead of Cal Kestis. That's exactly what it was.
And it seemed like it was a fun. It didn't have like the stakes like some of it had, but that was okay. Like, you can think back to the original New Hope. It just was like, okay, Obi-Wan, Luke, and Han are going to get Leia out of the Death Star, and this is kind of a similar situation. It's like Obi-Wan's going to go get Leia out of this big inquisitorial, but it's a lot of fun adventure stuff. Silly at times, absolutely, but so is Star Wars. Star Wars is silly at times. I don't like. Some people just got a little
hiding Leia under the jacket. So many people got so pissed off.
I
When
know!
I watched that, I was dying. I thought that was the
Right.
funniest thing because it was so silly.
It was so silly, but also at the same time, look at it. He's like, everybody's looking at everything. There's alarms going off. Everybody's looking everywhere else. They have no time to look at this. What the fuck? Like, maybe it's some weird alien. We don't know. But like, that never bothered me.
There's like a few things that the Empire can't do at all. Like the stormtroopers can't shoot for shit. You can always infiltrate into any establishment, and their star destroyers can never catch or hit anything.
That's true.
Like when they're chasing something, they're never in range. They're always a bit too far. They can't catch up. These are just some of the things we'll have to accept.
I wish I found this meme the other day. It was so funny. It was a stormtrooper and a red shirt from Star Trek, and it says in the meme, the stormtrooper shoots the red shirt, completely misses, but the red shirt dies anyway, and it's so perfectly matching up the two. Sean, when they wearing the same shirt, one of us is going to have to change. Okay, well, that's going to be that's a Patreon level.
Shirtless POV.
Shirtless.
There we go.
That's a Patreon level. But good to see you, of course, buddy, in the chat as always. All right, so let's start right from the beginning. Now we kind of got our overall thoughts out of the way. How psyched were you guys? Were you as psyched as I was when we began, like with Order 66?
Yeah, I was.
Yes.
I didn't expect that.
This is one of the shows where I was like, I need flashbacks. Give me flashbacks.
Right.
Give me more flashbacks. Usually I hate the flashbacks. This is where I
The
needed
fact
them.
that it was like, holy shit, they actually went there. Like
Right.
they
Mhm.
really showed it. Like it
Right.
wasn't just like, let's flash it. And like I get everything that like happened like a couple of days before, but it was like they actually showed the clone troopers bursting in, killing Jedi. I was like, wow. And maybe it's because it's been a long time since I first saw Revenge of the Sith for the first time, and Order 66 hit me that hard for the first time. It felt like that again.
Mhm.
Like I was getting
Yeah.
it for the first time again, and it was just like, oh, that hurt.
Yeah, I honestly, I think that's a similar feeling in a way. It's kind of strange because we saw a very small tidbit of Order 66 in The Mandalorian. We saw the flashback of Grogu in there as well. But
Right.
this was epic. This is more of the what we never got a chance to see. We got to see Anakin going off on some kids and stuff. I wish I had seen Liam again.
We did.
We
Later
did
on
get
in
some
the-
prequel era flary fighting. There was this one kid that really no, it wasn't a kid. It was one of the masters, was it not?
Yep.
Or was
Yes.
she?
Yeah, well, at least a Padawan, if not a master. Definitely not a kid.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great beginning. It made sense to show that in a way. I liked how it began. I liked how that it was kind of obvious, but not like hammer over head obvious that was Reva right from the beginning. Like we knew the character was coming from the trailers and stuff.
Yeah, I had a feeling kind of. I didn't want to be like, oh, that's who that is.
Right. But it made like
The fan
story wise, it
theories-
makes sense.
The fan theories kind of ruined that one. I had no idea that was her. I was just like, all right, cool. And then I heard all the reviews and like everyone predicting correctly. I was like, damn it.
No, I tell you, it did make all the sense in the world. We obviously all saw the trailers and everything else, and it made sense that well, where does a Sith Inquisitor come from? So it's probably going to be either a former Jedi or a young Force sensitive child. To show Order 66, like it's either like, are they showing us Order 66 just because it's cool? Doesn't seem like that's Ed Deborah Chow's like. That doesn't seem to be her MO of things, and just show it just to be cool. So it seems like okay, so they're showing us this for a reason, and that means so it's like also I saw that, and you see the young African American child. Like, okay, that's Reva. That's probably gonna be Reva. But I still didn't. I don't mind when things are like somewhat predictable in a way. When it's something like that, because I don't feel like it was meant to be a big twist per se. It wasn't like it was a big reveal like she was a youngling later on, but it was kind of like more of just a confirmation of what we already kind of get.
And it could have been to like the more casual fan, like we come into these things that like we have an eye for spotting these things because we're so into this. The casual fan may have been like, "Oh shit, I remember that now." I'm
actually strong head over heels. I believe that probably there's people who just like didn't even think about it at all, and like they're like, "Oh, whatever, it's fine." It's just probably they fell for the oh, this is probably cool. This is really cool. So, like, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? But either way, I thought it was a cool beginning. I thought it was a great thing. And then we get our first introduction, of course, back to Tatooine. And what do you feel about this Obi-Wan when we first see him again?
Love it.
That's what we were expecting, though. A different kind of an Obi-Wan.
Right. Very much a different kind of Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like his hair is like even like unkempt. He's got the beard. He looks so forlorn.
Defeated and beaten. And
it's just, what's up, Matt?
so we were... What's up, Matt? We got to watch the first couple of episodes a bit early in celebration.
Right.
And there, because we had like the premiere before like the official shit, there was just like a vibe in the room seeing Obi-Wan like that was like, oh, he's really like, he's really been hit hard by everything. And like, you just felt bad. And like, you look at him like, that's the hero. And he's, man, like felt pity and just sadness. And
until he speaks.
It was rough. Yeah.
Then and when he speaks, that's like there's the Obi-Wan. There's the accent. There's the way he speaks. There was like it felt familiar again. And it kind of was uplifting to hear that.
It definitely got there quickly enough. And I remember he actually said, I remember an interview with you and where he said he didn't have the Obi-Wan back right away. And he kind of surprised.
I love that his voice was leaning a little bit more towards Alec Guinness as well.
It did.
Like I could hear it a little bit, and I was like, ooh.
A little more gruff, a little more, at this point too. I remember one of my favorite moments right from the get-go was it was one of those small things where you show something instead of telling. And PJ, yes, PJ, I know he's trying to get me to go to California in October to go see Clerks 3 with him and Rachel Silverstreet.
When's Clerks 3 coming out?
In October. The trailer's coming out on Wednesday.
Really?
Tomorrow there's a trailer coming out.
Man, I'd love to watch that with you guys.
Oh, God,
my God.
To see, maybe we'll do a reaction on it. Why not? I haven't done that in a while. But anyway, we can do a quick reaction. Maybe we'll see. But I was going back to instead of the idea of showing and not telling, the great sequence there where he's at the butcher shop, he's getting his stuff and everything else. He walks in there and he said, "Yes, I love you." Okay, all right.
Hi, Rachel.
I'm doing a show here, guys. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Good to see you, Andres. The great moment when Obi-Wan's cutting up the meat and he goes away, and the butcher guy, the head master guy, like basically bitch slaps someone, and Obi-Wan looks at him.
Yeah,
it's this idea
he wants
of like
to do something.
Doesn't really do anything.
He went right back time. He's like he wants to do it. Like you could tell, like that instinct is still kind of there, but buried deep. And he walks away, and you're like, that's not Obi-Wan. But it is. But it's that's exactly the same.
That's Ben.
That's Ben. That's good call. That's Ben at this point. Yes. Bring it all together. There's only one return. It ain't of the king. It's of the Jedi. That's true. The Clerks reaction going on. So.
And Obi-Wan keeps stealing the meat. No one notices. He doesn't do that very. Like, he's not really hiding it. It's just all right. His job's over. Taking all your shit
for his pet. I love that.
Yeah.
So we get to see that happen. Obviously, we get to see the Grand Inquisitor coming with Reva. They kind of check on Tatooine.
Rupert Friend was so great.
Rupert Friend.
So tell me, did he voice the character in?
That was Jason Isaacs.
Oh, really? Okay. So he pretty much that was the first time he was playing that role.
Yes, this is all completely, and it fit so perfectly, right? Perfectly. I mean,
so great.
I didn't even recognize him at first. I was just like, I know he was in the series, and I'm like, that's a very interesting take on it. Because honestly, this is like my first time really seeing. Because I was expecting the Inquisitor to be this Darth Vader type, this like hard hitting, rough, and he was more like this gentleman, like slimy, squirmy shit weasel type. I was not expecting that.
Good question. Hello, Bedor. Good to see you. Love you. Good to see you, Chris. Yes, thank you for noticing our nice background music. It's nice and smooth.
What's up, Christo?
Good to see you guys. That's a great question. I mean, would Randall from Clerks have liked The Last Jedi and Kenobi?
Kenobi, yes. Last Jedi, no.
I'm betting he'd be against The Last Jedi. That's what I think.
I would think he would have rather liked The Last Jedi and not The Rise of Skywalker, though.
We'll have to see. I'll have to see. I have to talk to Kevin Smith and see what Rachel and PJ. When you see Kevin Smith, let him know and ask him that question. But anyway, regardless, we get to see the Inquisitor. Like I said, again, agree that Rupert Friend was phenomenal. He really did so well with the role. So kind of reminded me of a combination of like Thrawn and maybe
Yes.
Huh.
a little bit of Thrawn in there, a little bit of Maul in there with his menace. There was the menace behind it, more menacing than that.
That was more Sun Kang. Sun Kang had more of the Darth.
Well, Sun Kang had very much the anger.
Sun Kang was fucking great.
Why
as
did we
the
get
brother.
so little of him? Like, we should have gotten way more.
I was surprised at that as well, to be honest with you.
Mm.
You get Sun Kang to do it, and you feel like, but unfortunately, the part is in a 6-episode show. There's only so much they can tell. And Rev was obviously the necessary ingredient, and
the fifth brother has come up in like Rebels and stuff. So like unfortunately we don't have it with Sun Kang, but like
right.
The fifth brother is a character that has been around for a while now. So they probably just like, let's just pull him in just to be like, Leo moment.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I did like that. Go ahead.
He had so much like presence and sort of I don't know. He felt terrifying,
Right?
and I really wanted him to see fight. Like I don't know. He just like he definitely felt the most physical out of the Inquisitors.
Absolutely.
And we really didn't get to see him fight.
Maybe season 2. Who knows? If we get a season 2.
Don't.
Or, well, that's actually a question I was going to ask at the end, but I'll ask it now. We'll get around to it. Obviously, we're introduced to Reva, and we have this whole character arc of Reva.
Right.
And they left the door open at the end to what's going to go on with Reva. I don't know. What do you think? Do we think we get any continuing adventures of Reva in live action? Are we going to leave it to comics and books? Would she be a part of Obi-Wan season 2? Is her story that entangled? Would she get her own series, as was rumored at one point potentially? What are your thoughts on Reva's overall arc and where she is and where she could go?
I really like the moral ambiguity of the ending. We don't know if she was like fully redeemed. We just know that she didn't kill Luke and she didn't become like Vader, and that was her goal. Right. She didn't want to be like Vader. She wanted to kill Anakin for what he did. Blah, blah, blah. And as far as where she could go, I apologize to Alex and Molly. I'm going to completely steal their idea. I would love to see her in a show about the path.
Okay, that'd be kind of cool. I could see
pretty
that.
Sweet with her and maybe bring Quinlan Voss in.
Well, that's definitively. Well, that I think PJ does say, he goes, that's definitely going to be a show. I don't disagree, but I wonder like if it's going to be immediate or the big question.
No.
I gotta feel do we have Obi-Wan? Are we all in agreement that Obi-Wan 2 is probably coming, most likely coming?
I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no.
I think we'll get more Ewan McGregor, but not in an Obi-Wan show.
Really? Because I think that Obi-Wan has had like some great tracking. It was like so much bigger than any other show they've had. I think they see the dollar sign. I think there's no way.
The numbers are there.
They all have said they want to do it. Like Ewan said he wants to do it.
I mean, I'll watch it.
Ewan says he'll do it. I know that Deborah Chow said, like, well, if we can find the right story, that whole angle,
That's what matters.
All right, so let's say for the sake of argument,
the story's already there. Like you end with friggin' Qui-Gon. You pretty much leave that wide open. That's exactly what I wanted from this season. Didn't get it. So there's your season 2.
Yeah, no, that is actually an interesting thing. I did want more of that as well, but it made sense the way it worked to have him come at the end, especially with the way they had at the beginning where he's praying to Obi-Wan and he doesn't have the Force. In order to have him cut off from the Force and his journey back to the Force to see Qui-Gon at the end, that's the success point. That's what he says. Now I've connected to the Force, I can actually talk to Qui-Gon at this point. That made most sense. I know what you wanted, and I get what you wanted, but for the source of the story they were telling, it made the most sense to do it this way. But let's say this, right? So we're going to say that there's going to be an Obi-Wan season 2. We're going to say that's happening. Do we have a Reva series that comes before that? Does Reva appear in that, or does Reva do something different, completely different, like after that? Maybe she's in episode 2 or season 2, and then gets her own series. What do we think? What do you think?
I think she'd be just right for a season 2 appearance. Yeah, I don't know if she could. I don't know if the character is like so well established to give her an entire new show.
Right.
I feel like if they do another season of Obi-Wan and have her have a very like prominent role in it, I think then she would be ready. I think she's a bit too new and too fresh to give her like a separate show at the moment.
I do wonder about that myself. I'm not sure if I don't disagree necessarily, but I don't know if they think that, because I know they really loved working with her. I know we had Andres.
She's great. Moses Ingram is great.
They had a great, not that one. Andres did say they had the fans really had, well, the bad fans, the black fans kind of crapped on her.
They're no fans. We don't talk about them. They're no fans. They're just
no.
She was great. She really was great.
I do wonder if that's going to be. I just do wonder how much Disney listens at all, and does that kind of like maybe we won't do it, maybe we do. But I do think that she does get something eventually. I kind of think she's in Obi-Wan season 2. That's my own thought. I think you're going to see I think you're going to get your Path show in Obi-Wan season 2 and expand Obi-Wan season 2. That's my thought process on that. Maybe because you get Qui-Gon teaching Obi-Wan seeking Quinlan, or Quinlan seeking out Obi-Wan for assistance. That's what I'm thinking. And then Reva is there, and Obi-Wan hooks Reva up with Quinlan as a way to kind of like help her on this redemption path, and then eventually that's what leads into a Reva show potentially.
That was really my only was that we didn't actually see Quinlan.
Right.
And there was the whole thing that there was the whole rumor that O'Shea Jackson Jr. was going to be playing Quinlan Voss. So I was like,
that was it. Yeah, that was a question for a bit.
Oh my, are we really going to get this? But I'm okay that we didn't.
Yeah.
But it's my one. Oh man.
What will be your fan casting for Quinlan Voss?
That hair.
Oh shit. Me?
No.
Me? I've got the long hair for it. I don't know.
Do you think like Jason Momoa is too on the nose? Because he looks exactly like he's. I know that he has way more of a broy like attitude, but his look and his physicality is like right up there.
Well, I do like that a lot.
In the Clone Wars cartoon, Quinlan had a little bit of a broy side to him to a degree. I don't know.
Him and Obi-Wan were constantly trying to one-up each other.
So I don't know. I think that Momoa could be a good fit potentially.
I think so.
It'd be interesting to see.
Especially I don't know with Dark Disciple as well. Like he has that dark streak to him.
Well, there you go. He wants a Voss Adventure show for Bador. Of course, that would have to take place somewhere during the Clone Wars, obviously, given the novel Dark Disciple. But I'm all for that too.
Can I quickly say the spin-off I do want from Obi-Wan?
Go ahead.
I've mentioned this a couple of times now, but I want to just put it out like officially on the channel because I'm putting it out into the universe. My favorite character from this show is he appears once. He appears one time, and he appears in episode 1. It's Tika the Jawa. I want porn stars. You know where they're in like
where your English accent is failing you. Your English accent is failing you.
P-A-W-N.
That's where your British accent is not
I know,
doing
right? It's so bad.
A Pornhub channel with Tika.
Yep. I want Antica Roadshow with Jawas, with the Jawas just going planet to planet, or someone coming to buy their sand crawler, and you just have the Jawas there. He's just like, let me call in my expert, and then Tika just comes walking in.
That would actually be, I think, honestly, wouldn't that be kind of cool? Like, I don't think you'd ever get like they're not gonna. Disney would never waste the budget for like an actual show like that, but like a series of shorts on like Disney Plus. I could see that happening, something like that. That'd be kind of fun.
So good.
To be honest,
I just had a rogue idea about a Star Wars show in the lines of like What If series.
Oh.
Have Qui-Gon be your storyteller. He's a Force ghost. And he just takes us through
Qui-Gon
scenarios. What could have happened in the like? What if Order 66 happened differently? What if I don't know, Windu defeated Palpatine, etc., etc.
Kind of cool.
I like that.
That'd be kind of cool. We never got to.
It could be like a world between worlds kind of. Actually,
yeah.
Worlds doesn't really work that way, but in my head, it
does. No. Just that Qui-Gon has found the ability to travel through the multiverse.
That's season 1 with the Force. It's all good. We'll figure it out. You know, it's all. You know, Lucas said almost anything could happen, so we're good with that. Better Call Saul, but it's Tika. I like that. Better Call Saul.
Better Call Tika. I like that. Yeah. Hey, cleaning costs extra.
Better call Maul.
Better
That
call
works.
Maul.
Better call Maul. There's yours. There's Matty's show. There's Matty's show.
That's what I want. Better call Maul.
Babu Freak could be in that
yes.
star in that show.
Oh my
as
God,
well.
yes.
That'd be good too. He could be one of the experts they call in.
I just want to watch him get drunk.
I don't
need
know if
anything else from him.
there is a okay. I will say there is a thing coming that Babu Frick is in, but
Yes,
I don't. Yeah,
he is. He did make he's going to make an appearance, which is actually kind of cool. I like that idea so much. Yeah, well, Jeff, you make a lot of mistakes. That's okay though. That's why we love you. Anyway, so we get through. So going back to some of the stuff, we're still really in episode 1. Really, we're not doing an episode by episode topic. So I'm just going to tangent through. How do we like Joel Edgerton as Owen and Bonnie Peace coming back as Beru?
Exactly what you would expect from him. Like
Yeah.
way too rough around the edges, kind of distraught about everything, not trusting anyone. Although he was too big of a star to have this little screen time, I feel like.
That's Star Wars for you. People are like, yeah, it's Star Wars, I'll do it.
I mean, they had Michael Biehn in an episode of The Mandalorian for like all of 3 minutes.
But well, he really chewed up. He was like in the best way possible. I mean,
there's all the meme for Joel now at this point. Like you taught his father. It's like every meme everywhere now.
That cut so deep, and I love that he said when Reva was like confronting him, he said the Jedi are vermin, just loud enough for Obi-Wan to hear him.
Oh yeah, he don't give a
and I was
fuck.
just like, you son of a bitch.
Fuck.
And then they flip it in the last episode because Beru turns around and says, when he says, "Oh, Ben's gone," and then Beru turns around and says, "Well, whose fault is that?"
Yeah, that was a good moment. That was a great moment between her. Really, it was Beru that came into play. Like she's like, I love the fact like, so wait, they're attacking Luke. Fuck this! Get the guns out. Let's go, baby.
He went full Carol from The Walking Dead.
It was like it really was like. So Beru was a badass. Beru was a badass. That's another meme I saw, which I wanted to see afterwards. It's actually a great meme now, where it shows the top of the screen is Beru and Owen like from A New Hope doing like their whatever in the kitchen or whatever. And later on, it says something like, "Well, Luke's gone. Time to empty nest. We're done now." And it shows them like also outside with the burnt stormtroopers, like implying that the burnt stormtrooper, like instead of being Owen and Beru burnt, like that they'd killed all the stormtroopers. They were corpses of stormtroopers. Like, yeah, that's good now. How badasses they were now.
God, those stormtroopers must have like put up a hell of a fight.
There you go.
Skywalker Texas Ranger, I can get behind that as long as Chuck Norris is in it.
I need some Kevin Costner in there then.
Ooh,
I love that too.
And Ed Harris, of course.
Yeah, Ed Harris and Kevin Costner. Oh my God.
Oh God. Take
like,
my
and Chuck Norris.
Take my.
Yeah,
subs,
you lost me now.
money.
I'd even take Steven Seagal before Chuck Norris. I don't know.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow. Well, you know what? Speaking of Ed Harris and stuff,
I'm hanging over that remove button if you ever say that again.
Matty Gunner actually posited that we should still do What Would Ed Harris Play, even though this isn't a traditional episode of Class Action. I'm all for it, of course. So what would you put Ed Harris in the Kenobi series? Matty, you came up with the idea, so let's hear what you have to say.
I want Ed Harris as the Grand Inquisitor.
Fuck you. Because that's
Just
exactly what I was
replacing
going
Ripper
with.
Friend. Just replacing Ripper Friend.
If I have to, my two choices would be bring back in Jason Isaacs or Ed Harris, but voiced by Jason Isaacs.
He's now called Rupert Enemy to you.
That's right. He's no longer your friend. He's no longer your friend. Oh wow! Now I have to think of
Rupert was
something else on
never
the
my
fly.
friend.
Jarvi, did you get to think of anything? Did you figure out anything?
Yeah,
you want to say?
I got one.
You did. All right.
I know this. I made up a new role for him.
Okay.
The episode where Obi-Wan faces Darth Vader the very first time, where he gets his ass beat, handed to him, burned to a crisp. I would have Ed Harris just be a nameless Jedi, a rogue Jedi who just shows up and saves Obi-Wan at the very last minute and just fucks off. It's just this mysterious, unnamed Jedi comes in, saves him, cannot face Vader because he's not strong enough, and then just disappears.
I kind of like that too. I was going to say Force Ghost Ed Harris, but maybe that's what we'll do.
Damn.
I'd actually. That's a good thing. Or if I couldn't have the I like that one though, Jarvi. I do like that one. If I didn't have,
I thought long and hard about it.
You
This
feel
took
like
me
you're very
weeks.
deep and you're really in depth on there. They weren't going to do the Grand Inquisitor role, or I wasn't going to do something like that. I don't know what else I would do, but I do like the Jedi aspect. I kind of think it would be really cool if he was a Mandalorian who kind of came in. I still like Ed Harris as a Mandalorian for some reason. I think that.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that picture as well.
Right,
Do I have that
it's
still?
coming
Do I have
in
that
it. It's coming in it. I know he's gonna put the
I don't know if
picture.
I have that one up. I'd have to change my.
While you wait, can we talk about the pettiness of Darth Vader with that third episode? And he, like, I get it's a cycle of everything, and like Anakin wants him to suffer as he suffered, but that was just pure pettiness of like lighting the grain on fire.
Oh,
and
bully! He was bullying.
Pulling.
You know what's
pulling
funny?
over-
People actually had problems with that. Like that
What?
was like
Who?
that. They're like that's the battle we're gonna get. Like there's a problem with media literacy.
You know this is not going to be the final battle.
People didn't get it. People thought that was going to be it. And I'm like, really? Learn media literacy, folks. Like, you gotta, if you're gonna bash on something, wait till it's all over and then bash on it, because you don't know what's coming. Like canon breaking, like the Grand Inquisitor's dead breaks the Rebels canon. Oh my god! Wait until the show's over before you fucking piece it. Like, it never annoyed me more when I was listening to some of these fans, like some of these whatever. It's like they cut bait with things so quickly, or they exactly. It's like ridiculous shit. I knew that right away. This was like the warm up. Obi-Wan wasn't reconnected to the Force. This was basically just have Darth Vader owning the shit out of Obi-Wan, and
he kicked the dog shit out of Obi-Wan, and I
that
loved
was
it
a
every
great
second of
fucking
it.
sequence. When Vader came down to that planet, and all of a sudden he just like comes into play. And he just walks through the town, choking people left and right, bringing the person out, snapping the kid's neck. Like, that was the Vader we wanted to see. It was like, holy shit.
Literally killed the dad in front of the kid. The kid comes running out, and he just goes, all right, cool.
Done.
It was like watching Michael Myers or Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it was. And I love the fact, I don't know, it was never officially declared how or what exactly they did with the voice. Like, it was a CGI voice of James Earl Jones.
They did make it younger.
Hayden Christensen was involved in the mixing of it potentially. Because sometimes it actually felt like Hayden Christensen line reads at times.
But it worked. It worked that they kind of tempered with it. Because
yeah, I loved it. 100%.
He's an old dude. Yeah. But Darth is still... He's not as old as he is in episode 6.
Right. But that was one of my favorite moments in the whole series. That whole thing it just gave me the Vader that I've always really wanted to see, without ruining anything for me. Like everything was all perfectly well placed. It didn't like go over the top, like too far. It was like just well within the power levels I would expect from Vader, the anger I would expect from Vader, the there you go, the irredeemable Vader, as Andre says. So I loved it so much, so perfect.
That was Vader from the comics. That was literally just like, I'm gonna kill all of you.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. What about let's talk back over, going back a little bit to episode 1 here, the Princess Leia of it all.
Yes. There we go.
Let's talk about this. I don't know about you guys, but like I did not. I mean, I tried to stay away from spoilers, obviously, the whole time. Anyway, we had seen Luke in the trailer, and there's always this idea that we're probably gonna get young Luke and Obi-Wan are gonna be involved more. I had no idea or thoughts about Leia getting involved at all, not one. So when Leia shows up, I was like, "Oh shit!" But yet it's stupid of us because it made sense. Because what's gonna be the thing that draws Obi-Wan off of Tatooine? It will be to help with Leia. Like that makes sense in hindsight, right?
The moment where Bail is appeared, and it was even more punch in the gut when Obi-Wan says no.
Yeah,
I was like, like, you're the good guy. You're the war hero. You're the Jedi. Like, and then Bail says she's just as important as he is.
Yes,
and I was like, oh,
yeah, it's true. And it's very true. And Obi-Wan knows it. Obi-Wan just needs a little kick in the pants because he's a little depressed boy right now. He's a little depressed bitch right now at that point. That's true.
Yeah. What a casting it was. Like I'd say this is by far the greatest casting in this series. Have Vivian Lyra Blair as Princess Leia. Oh my God, she was.
And some people didn't like her, and I was like, I don't get how you couldn't like her. She was perfectly. Carrie Fisher was smiling down on her from the beginning. Like it just, like it was like she really just felt like Carrie Fisher at times. The way she was like the way her line
The speech to the cousin,
right?
The speech to the cousin just
Oh,
like
that was
destroyed him.
That
it
was great.
so Carrie Fisher. Like it was spot on. I love that, and that's another thing about kicking back on the fans. Like people were like yelling that like or complaining that this broke canon because Leia doesn't mention it in the speech in The New Hope or whatever. And I'm kind of like, why would she? This is a message from Bale. It's a formal message.
And also, at the very last episode, Obi-Wan tells her to keep it a secret.
Yeah. That's it too. Exactly my point. This whole I'm gonna try to stop talking about.
And I actually went and watched A New Hope like directly after this. The line when Luke bursts into Leia's cell and says that he's there with Ben Kenobi, and Leia goes, "Ben Kenobi, where is he?"
Yes.
And I was like, it fits so well now because she knows him as Ben.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so good.
Can we talk about the god awful kidnapping scene?
I will admit that was probably the least. But it's like, to me, it's what I call the stormtrooper hitting the head on the door. It's like
it was very home.
It was worse than that.
But you can watch it and like you can not hate the series for it, not hate it. It's kind of like yeah.
I thought it was very Home Alone.
Oh yeah.
And the running was just very awful. Like, let's just kind of pretend to run after each other. But that's okay.
I felt bad for the stunt woman that had to do that stunt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And Flea, adding Flea to the mix was kind of fun. I actually didn't mind that. Cool. I liked him in the role. That was cool. But another one we actually should talk about is what about what's his name? The other guest star there, Kumail Nanjiani as Haja.
Oh yeah,
Haja. I love him.
Me too.
Loved him.
Yes,
so much.
I was so afraid of him. I was like so afraid that they're gonna turn this into like one of these comedy specials or whatever. No, it worked.
He had his moments. He had, the magnets and stuff. He had moments of comedy, and but it was like not too much. That could have gone too far. You're right, but like it was.
I am not a babysitter, Ben.
But it had the heartfelt moments too. Like, I will get her home, I promise. Even though like it had that great feel of it's a classic Star Wars kind of trope where like he doesn't believe in himself, but he gets enough like to do in an adventure that he starts like believing in himself more and becomes a better person. I actually want to see more of this character. Exactly. I want to see more of his character. I hope he shows up more because I love the moral ambiguity of the character too. He's not like a complete good guy. Mm-hmm. He's like a guy. He'll take advantage of people. But like
my favorite line of his was in episode, I think it was 5, when he meets up with Ben again and he goes, "I'm now wanted by the Empire. Guess I now know what it's like to be a real Jedi, huh?" Everyone just looks at him like, "Sure, okay then."
All right, buddy. He's so fun. I loved him in it. That was a great job. So
I can't remember the lines that he had when he was helping like the lady and the kid. He had like a lot of like, I'm using the Force. Oh my, it's so exhausting. Like,
I'm penetrating your mind.
Yeah. Exactly.
They had like I wish I had the lines too, but like, they were like close to real. Like just like enough that somebody might have overheard a Jedi say something like that at some point, but then like it was like a kind of telephone game. Like
no Jedi tells you they're doing a Jedi mind trick.
That's right.
Exactly.
So funny.
No! Don't diss Bill Burr. No.
Oh wow! Jarvis getting very heated there.
I will say that scene also gave us my my favorite Easter egg, and it also broke my heart a little bit.
Oh yeah,
because the kid's name is Corran. And it's Corran Horn. And for those of you who have not read I, Jedi and the other books, he is a member of Rogue. He becomes a Jedi, but he's also a member of Rogue Squadron. So I feel like that was a little loop in for the Rogue Squadron movie that was originally planned that we're now not going to get, and now I'm just like,
that's interesting. So is it Corran Horn specifically?
It is Corran Horn because his dad's name is also on the wall.
Say the name again.
Corran
horn.
No, say it with your British accent and say it fast.
Corn.
Cornhorn.
Cornhorn. Play a little bit of cornhorn there. That's on the same Pornhub channel with the
Jawa porn. But his dad's name is also written on the wall of the hut
That's
in
right.
Arabic.
That's right. That's right. I've been reading about that. That's cool. That's very cool indeed. I like that. I hope
That was
does
the little
eventually
Rogue
come.
Squadron tie-in that we're now probably not going to get.
Well, maybe he'll be in like one of those Rangers of the New Republic.
Just give us Miles Teller and Glenn Powell in fucking Rogue Squadron.
Can we have Ed Harris telling them that they're going to do drone X-wing pilots instead?
They did the fucking trench run in fucking Top Gun Maverick. They can just pull in those two and pull in Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise.
I want
Star Wars
great balls of fire in the cantina style. Great balls of fire.
I'm gonna write that.
Please do.
I'm gonna write that.
Okay, let's go move on. What else we got to talk about? Let's talk about the other flashbacks we got.
Are we going to talk about episode 5?
We'll go about whatever you want to talk about. I wasn't going to episode through episode. I'm just kind of bringing some things into play here, but specifically, I wanted to talk about Obi-Wan and Anakin's Clone Wars.
The greatest
flashback.
moment in this entire season, by far.
You like this is
hands down the best. Absolutely, fucking everything we got from this show was that friggin' flashback. This is why they friggin' got Hayden. This is what I wanted. I wanted prequel Anakin. I wanted prequel Obi-Wan. I wanted prequel saber fighting. And I know people don't agree with me, but there was absolutely no need to de-age them digitally.
That was aged so well in the last
and even
years.
They show it a little bit. It's fine. It actually made it kind of more endearing, especially in Hayden's part. It's sort of like because he's had a way rougher time with everything about the prequels, like the journey that he's been on. So it was like so I don't know. Wholesome to. I'm
interested. Like that's exactly what I was going to ask you about. So I'm interested. I don't disagree with you. It didn't bother me as much. I didn't notice it, but I did wonder why they didn't. Like, what was the choice behind that? Because I mean, they have the money to do so. Obviously, they have the desire to do so. They've done it through almost everything else. Was that really kind of more like a fuck you? He looks really good anyway, so we don't need it. Is that what it was, or was it like? Because it seems strange to me that they had the tools, and let's face it, it's much easier to de-age Hayden down a few years than like what they've tried to do with other de-agings. So I mean, I was a little confused by that. I'm not going to lie, but like it didn't. They
de-aged Mark Hamill by like 50 years.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah, but that was Well, was that really
with Kid Luke? Was that not Mark Hamill?
Oh, okay.
Nice. But it didn't bother me. I actually thought that was kind of cool. It bothered me enough in terms of I noticed it, but then I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah, it's like a fraction of a second. You're like, huh.
And then Anakin's battling and when it's showing great moments.
So fucking
good. And then, like it shows exactly. It's a great moral of the story. The reason why the story is there, showing what Anakin's weaknesses are, and how Obi-Wan beat Anakin episode 3, for example. Like it showed that Anakin even though Anakin's a more powerful Jedi,
his desire for victory.
He has his weaknesses that Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan's a more perfect Jedi, and that, as far as that goes, and that's what it is. Loved it so much.
I love that there was the one moment in particular when he had Obi-Wan literally on his knees, and it was parallel to the fight they had in the 3rd episode. When Obi-Wan's blocking with one hand and Anakin is just boom, boom, boom. And I feel like that might have been, if not the first moment, but one of the first moments that Obi-Wan saw Anakin and was like, there's darkness in this kid.
Yeah. He was surprised or like taken aback.
Yeah. It was a good sign in that way. Speaking of darkness, let's move on to the rest of that episode. Another cool moment at the end there where Obi-Wan convinces Reva to kind of try to go for it, to try to take him down. And wow, Vader versus Reva. Holy shit, that was everything I wanted too. Because like Vader just whooped, like didn't even like, it was like toying with like a.
Yeah.
Did their lightsabers even clash?
Very few times. It did it one time, but like not by clashing. We're just like Vader just using it to get out.
I never thought I would see Vader as Ip Man. because of how like stiff and robotic he is sometimes. But he was literally just like warm. You can't touch this. Nah. Literally, you could have can't touch this playing. Nah.
And he warmed up with the freaking freighter, like pulling it down, just ripping the door off, just like.
And again, that shows to Anakin's weakness of like he's so focused on the thing he wants that he's not concentrating.
Right, exactly. I mean, hell, yeah, right. Jeremy says it does there. Vader is fighting one-handed at one point.
Yeah,
it was
the final battle as well. The final battle also. Vader's doing one-handed stuff.
It's like, oof.
I loved the moment when we did get the spinny lightsabers, and Vader just
was like stopped it.
Vader stopped it, broke it. I loved it was such a fuck you moment where he took it, broke it in half, and threw half down. Be like, all right, you want to go? Let's go.
Yeah, I love that. I love that too. It's kind of like, all right, you want to find me? Here you go. Well, let's go. Bitch.
Also, in that episode, real quick before we move on, I do not want to downplay the role of Ned, the loader droid.
Indeed.
Oh yeah.
Pour one out for Ned. One of the more in the line of great Star Wars droids.
When he threw that one stormtrooper up to the ceiling, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Nice.
Something about like the Disney era Star Wars is the way they humanize the droids.
K2,
and you like their and
L3.
BB. There was the one from Solo.
BB-8. Oh yeah, L3.
Lola
L3.
as well.
Yeah. Lola, like it. He was not even speaking. He didn't even make it like a noise. Not even a beep. You just fell for him. It was just this big lumbering sort of emotionless. You thought at first, but not a lot of emotion. Like just saving her at the end. Oh my god.
Now I know Richard-Erik Jarvi's got to leave shortly, so we're trying to power through some more of this real quick. I do want to point out we did not talk about Indira, which I think we should at least touch base on. Indira Varina as Tala.
Indira Varma,
Indira as Tala.
Yeah.
What a great job she did. What a great character she was. I would love to see more from her back in the day. Like, I know the part of the problem with Star Wars is we see somebody, we're like, we want to get their backstory, so let's get them a series, and that kind of becomes overdone because we don't need to see everybody. But some of those characters kind of, it'd be cool to see her in a comic. It'd be cool to see her in a, like, not having her own show, but to see her in a different show, like earlier on, or in the Bad Batch, or in something like that kind of thing. It's kind of a very cool character, and I kind of like wanted to see more of her as a spy-ish kind of character, which is kind of cool.
I mean, like she turns because she was a full-on Imperial at first, right? Yeah. And then she kind of just saw the.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
not found her cause.
By the time Obi-Wan happened, she was obviously already turned at that point, just inside at that point. So I'd like to see that. Maybe the formation of the path. Maybe maybe it was here and now. And in order, that'd be cool. And same with O'Shea Jackson as Roken. I want to see more of him. He's awesome. I love that.
He was freaking great. He was so great.
His own show. I think he deserves like a show, like a whole. Maybe he'll be part of the path. Maybe Path does deserve its own show, like just an ensemble cast about the Jedi Path. You could have like Qui-Gon, or you could have like Quinlan come in, you could have Reva come in, you could have Obi-Wan even like maybe they can go to Tatooine and stuff. There's a lot you could do with the path that you would need to focus on one character for. Absolutely. All sorts of things you could throw in there. It seems like a perfect setting for even an animated series or live action. But
so before Jarvi gets out of here,
let's talk about the final fight.
Yes, we gotta do that. Bro. Let's talk about the final fight.
What did you think?
The final fight.
The only bad thing about it for me is the setting, the dark. Like it was way too dark.
Mustafa, baby.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It just the darkness and the set design kind of wasn't my jam. But the fight itself was like that was the fighting style that I needed. That was all there. Like they were just like flailing around doing all sorts of acrobatics. So
the fight itself it arguably is the best lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars. To be honest, it's arguably up there. I would say that. 3. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying arguably up there.
It's up there for sure.
I want to watch it a few more because it is very good because it's more raw, it's more energetic, more like there's a lot more going on in different ways, which I like. I mean, there's
more Force stuff there.
Episode 3 was more beautiful.
Yeah,
it was more of a dance.
More, like a dance.
This was more of like a powerful, like
we want to kick the shit out of each other
as well. Right, with Force powers and everything else. It seems like that was cool. That could be it as well. It could be the budget. The budget could have to make it feel smaller. It could be. It was a lower budget for some reason. I'm not sure why Disney lowered the budget on this one more than any other ones, but.
and you see Obi-Wan's actually like fighting with it. He's just throwing everything out the window, and he's fighting with anger. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like we're gonna go at it. We're gonna try to kill each other.
We get the fucking Rebels moment, which I was hoping we were going to get. And I thought, as soon as we heard that Hayden was cast, I thought that we were going to get this. And I was so glad. I don't care if it's like a kind of a copy off the Rebels episode.
No.
Give it to me. Give it to me every way. The helmet slices off. You get the voice mix. That's even more. That it's definitely more Hayden
and Vader in there.
Hayden in there. And that was powerful. And let me tell you, my favorite moment before you go, favorite moment is Anakin saying, you didn't kill me. You didn't do this. I did. Yeah. And like he absolved. Like I really kind of I want to throw this out there. I felt like this was Anakin absolving Obi-Wan. This is the good. This is a good side, a good guy in Anakin. It was like the deep that Anakin is in there, as we know. There's a goodness deep inside of him. It barely comes out ever. I think in a twisted, malicious kind of way, it's snuck out by saying that. And Vader saying it is to hurt him, but there's a deepness seated of good of Anakin saying, this is not your fault.
There's also a moment of this. I got to shout out Joseph Schuster real quick. When he's talking about that, you see the blue light of Obi-Wan's saber. Yes. And then when he comes back to Vader, it switches to red.
It's awesome, and it's so beautiful. I think it's a subtle thing, and I think it actually went missed. I think a lot of people missed that, and I want to get that out to make sure that theory's out there. But Jarvi,
Obi-Wan, even like when he said that it was me who killed him, and just Obi-Wan goes, "Then my friend is truly dead." And the final thing he says is, "Goodbye, Darth."
Yes.
Goodbye, Darth.
Anakin. Anakin. The whole
no more
series.
Anakin.
Goodbye, Darth.
Goodbye, Darth. All right. So, guys, unfortunately, I have to get going, but PLD and Matty will continue the conversation. This got way too emotional for me. I can't be shedding tears here, so I got to log off.
He's got a rep to protect.
That's true. Yeah, can have that.
So, you guys have fun. I'll keep listening. Take care.
We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Bye. I don't know what we're doing, but we'll do something next week. So, all right. And goodbye, Richard-Erik Jarvi. It just leaves you and me. I will say this, real quick. Didn't Deborah Chow crush it? Yes, she did. I'm happy.
She did. Absolutely. Did a great job with give her more.
I hope she goes back as well. I hope she goes back for more Star Wars. I really highly enjoyed it. I hope they give her maybe a bigger budget kind of thing. So let's talk about that. Is there anything else specific we have to talk about in the series itself, or can we move to? Oh, you know what? I'll touch base on one more thing, and then I kind of want to maybe go into the future. Great moment in the show was the cameo by Tamir Morrison.
Yes, the member of the 501st.
Yes. And like you thought, was it because Rex is a Cody? I don't get what's happening here. But like you got Obi-Wan looking at him and seeing that and the effects that it had on him was so spot on, beautiful. I loved that so much. So that was another great choice that they did.
Yeah. Shout out to our friends Saul and Sean Sullivan. Like we were talking about it the day after at Celebration. We were like, do we think that's a member of the 501st, or do we think that's Rex?
Right.
And I feel like it might have been just a random member of the 501st. But he recognized. I feel like he recognized Obi-Wan, but was like, maybe the chip had worn off by then, and was like, I want no fucking problem, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm already like here in the gutter right now. And I also thought it was a very apt comparison to how veterans of the military are treated.
Very good. Absolutely. 100%. I'm with you on that. We didn't really brush that. I really just made you touch base on that too. Qui-Gon at the end. Set up so perfectly. Like it was set up so well. Like the idea, like before this series started, we almost already all had said he was going to be in there. He's got to be in there in some way. It's got to be in there. Even if he was denying it, we had no official word. But as soon as Obi-Wan calls for Qui-Gon in episode 1, and Qui-Gon has an answer, it was like, okay, if I had any doubts at all that he was going to make an appearance at some point, they were shattered, because that was set up to happen at the end. Then when we see him at the end, man, I got all teary-eyed and cheered up seeing Qui-Gon full.
I audibly screamed. I would audibly just scream my life, because I thought we were going to get him in the moment because the whole show we start to see Obi-Wan slowly get his mojo back. In episode 4, we see him start to do this stuff behind the back with the saber and start moving things. but I thought we were gonna get him like when he was in the rocks and he was pinned down, like trying to hold everything up. I thought, are we gonna get Qui-Gon now? Is Qui-Gon gonna like appear and give him a speech, and he's just gonna go? Which, by the way, the thing with the rocks, amazing. Just
Oh God,
Vader,
yes.
and
Oh,
Vader's
God.
just there, just like and it's just like you realize, just like, listen, dude, you are the learner. He is the master.
So good. It is so fucking good. I love it.
But I feel like it was a great reward.
Yeah,
At the end.
100%. 100%. And it was worked out well. And it was a great thing about it also now as we talk about, I forget who was in the chat earlier. Somebody in the chat. I think it might have been Matt, actually, Matt Thomas, who had said, that's what I want to touch base on. See if I can find when we're talking about what it was about, well, it's not.
Do you feel like Liam Neeson? Okay.
Not forget the original screenwriter came out and said it was initially designed as a trilogy. That's true.
Yeah.
It was originally designed as a trilogy, and they had different ideas in mind. They switched some things around to make this a series. But one of the things they talked about was Qui-Gon being a big part of the second thing. So maybe that's exactly what the second season is going to be. But also that Cody was going to make an appearance as well. Cody was going to be a very big part of the future story. So if they're going to go on with season 2 and they're going to use these as kind of maybe I don't know if they'll use them exactly as it, because it feels like when Deborah Chow says they want to have a proper story to tell. I'm sure when they had this original as a trilogy, I'm sure they kind of truncated it down. Like I'm sure Vader was also always at the end.
There was a massive interview with the original screen. I haven't read it yet, but there was like a big interview with the original screenwriter. Yeah. They said they narrowed everything down, even with Reva. Like Reva was originally meant to be killed by Vader, which I'm okay they didn't do that, because that's exactly what happened to Trilla in Jedi Fallen Order. It was pretty much the exact same ending.
Right.
So I'm kind of glad they didn't go that way.
Makes sense.
But I would love more Qui-Gon. I mean, I can't wait for the what's the behind the scenes show called again?
The gallery.
The gallery.
Whatever. Yeah.
I feel like Liam Neeson filmed that. He threw on the robes, went out into his garden, shot it there, and then sent them the video and was like, put that in the volume.
Yeah. I would be surprised. It's so good, quick and easy. Just one like, whoa.
Same with Ian McDermott. They were probably just like, all right, here you go. Here's 2 lines. Shoot him in your front room. Put the hood over, and then we'll just copy and paste it, put it in the volume, and boom, there you go.
That's what happens. That's the wrap there for that. So season 2 hopefully is going to be coming, and I don't think Obi-Wan leaves Tatooine this time. I think it's more of an internal thing. I do think we get more of a path idea. I think there's a lot of different ways we can go. I'm just glad there's more Star Wars. That's all I can say. I'm just glad there's so much more Star Wars coming. I'm looking forward to Andor. I'm really looking forward to Ahsoka. Ahsoka is the one I'm really looking forward to the most at this point.
So we got to see a little 3-minute teaser of Ahsoka at Celebration, and I am over the moon about what we saw.
Really? Okay, I want you to tell me, but
I'll tell you off.
Fair. Okay. All right. Yeah. I do kind of want to know. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. We have that coming. We have the films that are potentially in the works. We have a lot of animated stuff coming, comics and books. It's just a great time to be a Star Wars fan. I just wish people understood that and got that. I wish they really understood that completely, because it seems like fans are taking it all for granted at this point.
Liam got done dirty. He's not a fan of it. Hey, some Qui. See, I thought you meant Liam is in the kid, and I thought that was perfect. Seeing him in the Jurassic Park, in the Jurassic Park, like Amber Gel kind of thing.
Liam got done there. I think that was actually, honestly speaking, I wanted more Qui-Gon Obi-Wan. I agree with Jarvi I did kind of want more Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon Obi-Wan moments, but at the same time, with this, like I said with the story that was told, I thought it was perfect to only have him at the very end, because that would lead us to series 2, I think, season 2 rather.
And the way that they not embraced each other, but greeted each other just old friends that hadn't seen each other in a while, and it was just Qui-Gon just what took you so long? And him saying, I was always there with you. You just weren't ready to see it. So Qui-Gon was there the whole time.
So good. So good. Love it so much. And
shout out to Jimmy Smits as well for his performance as Bale. I thought he absolutely nailed it.
100%. Always good to see you guys. Darth Maul for season 3. No, I don't think so.
Don't get my hopes up.
No, I don't even have the hopes to do it. I can't because the Rebels thing was so perfect. I just don't want to see it like
I
touched.
watch it in live action.
Yeah. But then you have to get Ezra involved and everything else. It just seems like it's
No. Just give me that scene. I don't care about everything else. Just give me that scene.
Yeah, but how you explain it? Like how does he just get there?
You don't need explaining.
You do.
I just want to see it. I don't need explaining, so I don't care. I don't give a shit about the other fans. I don't need it explaining.
You know it can't happen. That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. I just want to see more of my favorite character.
I get that, but it's got to make sense, or else it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It's a movie about space. It's the thing about space was it doesn't have to make sense.
It's making a little bit of sense. Anyway, that's it. Where can the folks find you?
You guys can find me. Was Jarvi? Is he still in the chat?
No, I was about to say where I find you, Jarvi, because I'm used to saying that's muscle memory. Because usually
you can find Jarvi on Instagram and Facebook at Richard with a Richard-Erik Jarvi
with a K.
Okay, yep. I'm trying to get his bit down.
Richard-Erik with a K, Jarvi.
Richard with yep. You can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner, on the Wild Jones Podcast Network every Thursday and Sunday, talking the world of combat sports. You can find me here every Tuesday, talking with Richard-Erik Jarvi and Paul DiNuzzo on Class Action. Don't know what we're doing next week. And if you guys wouldn't mind, I am launching my new musical project. I'm actually super excited for this one. Shadow of Azrael was cool. Can't wait to do more of that. But this is solely me. This is awesome. Everything me. It's called Mourner. You can find it if you go to my pinned tweet in my Twitter bio. It's there. If you go to the links in any of my socials, it's all there. Instagram at Mourner Band. My first song, titled "The Cracks Beneath," is coming out July 22nd via Homesick Records. Shout out to Homesick Records, always supporting me. So yeah, I'm excited for that. What's the first find you?
That is awesome, my friend. That is awesome. Real quick, I want to say also, I'll toss this up. Yes, I get that, and I agree with that. I want Maul back too, in every which way, and I think that we could do that in that way. We could do a Crimson Dawn series, or we could do a solo series, or something more with that. That is where we can get Maul back without having to touch the.
You think Maul didn't sense Obi-Wan when he started coming back? I think there wasn't a little inkling there.
Well, he did. Yeah, he sensed him. He just couldn't find him because that's where he was looking for him throughout all the Rebels to find him.
Exactly.
So there you go. Patreon.com/PLD Products, where you can hang out with us. I want to shout out a couple of patrons there: Danielle Ramirez, Brandon Buckingham, Brandy Parker, Jeff Alterman, John Lastrina, Kelly W. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys for helping us out. Of course, I love all my patrons. Every month we get a hangout. Every month we get some more content, bonus content, which actually might become more bonus content now that the movie Trivia Schmodown is ending, if you haven't heard yet, which is unfortunate, of course, but it is what it is. I'm not going to go into it here too much. If you want to hear my thoughts on it more, I do talk about it with PJ at the end of this week's episode of Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film, where we break down Halloween. Yes, it's a 2-hour and 41-minute episode on a 91-minute movie.
I just want to quickly, on a public forum, shout out you two for all the incredible and hard work you guys do. I want it public. I can say it behind the scenes. I want it publicly known that you guys are the fucking best for like all the hard work you put in. So
I really appreciate that. I really, really, truly appreciate that. We do a lot of hard work and we love it. We have a lot of love for it. I might have some time where actually maybe even on this channel I'll have a post-mortem MTS after we're done kind of thing. I mean, we're still going for now. We got the rest of the season to go. A couple matches, some matches that have already been taped that are really great matches. I want you to take a look at. I can't wait to see some of those. And we're gonna try to write the best spectacular you could possibly imagine. Of course, we got one last chance to do some questions. So you might get some ones that we're gonna throw in there because we just want to write them at this point.
And guys, this also means Paul has to come out of retirement to play me in a Star Wars match.
Is that true? That could possibly happen at this point. I've already been penned into writing a match for Ben versus Kalinowski in a gauntlet match.
And here's the thing, I'm going to throw this out there. Ben, if you can't beat me, don't play Mike.
All right, guys. Again, you can find me every week here on Class Action. We don't know what we're doing next week. We'll get to you as soon as we know. We also got Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film every week as well. Crown Jewels will come back. We took a couple of weeks off of that in between seasons. We're going into the Queen 2 album now, which is very exciting for me. I love
my favorite.
It's probably my favorite album too. They kind of
Yep.
rotate a little bit, but this is always right near the top for me either way. Anything else? I saw him on Action Industries. The Action Guys had a great show last night talking about the end of the Schmodown. Check that out. Otherwise, I guess that will do it. We'll see you same time next week, and whatever we're doing, we'll find out. So, but till then, of course, justice has been served. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Mm.